Smite Update podcast is proudly sponsored by Tweaked Audio. Go to tweakedaudio.com for high-performance, noise-reducing earbuds. Use the code OctanePro to get 33% off plus free shipping anywhere in the world. Check out tweakedaudio.com today. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 34 of the Smite Update. My name is Octane Pro, and joining me as always is Risty. Risty, how's it going, sir?
Not bad, not bad. Doing pretty well. And we've got a broken stream.
That's right.
You can tell everyone what that is.
That's right, folks. Those of you guys not familiar, if you're checking out the live show, Twitch is broken this weekend. Pretty much anything you stream is always 10 minutes behind or 15 minutes behind. So right now it shows us not live, but we are actually live, and it'll kick off in about 10 minutes. And it'll look like it's live and look like, but it's actually 10 minutes behind. So keep that in mind. You can see I'm wearing an Argyle shirt. I just came from a Christmas party. So I'm like, ran in the door. Was like, all right, get everything set up. And I'm rocking the brown and white Argyle shirt. So, Risty, you'll get a chance to see that in about 10 minutes on stream.
I know, I'm about to say, I can't see anything. I feel so left out. Because normally I have like the whole Twitch page up, so I get to see the stream and everything. I can kind of go off of it like a webcam. But
sure. I'm
looking at a blank page right at this minute, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
no.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. So, folks, we are at episode 34, kind of cruising along. I feel like after we hit like episode 30, it's just been like ticking away right now.
The patches are coming quite nicely though, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like ever since the March 25th release date for Smite that was announced a few weeks back, that Hi-Rez has really been kicking it into gear with remodels and balance changes and stuff like that. So that's kind of been pretty cool to see, allowing us to have content week in and week out. Before we go ahead and jump into community news, I want to remind you guys to check out the audio version on iTunes and also on the Android store. On iTunes, just search for Smite Update, and on Android, go ahead and download your preferred podcast app. I use BeyondPod, works really, really well. And just search for Smite Update and check it out on there, and feel free to leave us some reviews. We'd really appreciate it. We've started checking out the different stores. When I found out there were different iTunes stores, I was like, what? So we now have, checking the...
A new region a week.
Yeah, checking out each region, EU and Canada and stuff like that, looking for the reviews, so we could definitely give credit where credit is due to the listeners that have given us some of that information. Well, let's go ahead and jump into community news. And we do have one thing I want to point out, and we'll actually have graphics moving forward for it. I recently am working with, and I mentioned it last show, but I'm trying to promote it the most I can, working with Hi-Rez Studios and also Child's Play. We launched a website called SmiteShop.com. It's run necessarily by myself, but working with Hi-Rez Studios and also, as I said, Child's Play. And it is a website that sells T-shirts, all apparel dedicated to Smite. And I think
any music?
What's that?
Do you play any music?
Am I playing any music? No, why?
I've got music playing. I swear it's coming through
because
Skype.
it's the stream. The stream's delayed, remember? So the stream's up for you. The stream just came up like 10 minutes behind.
Hey, that's it. There we go. I was trying to work out what that was.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what you're getting there. As I said, you probably had that up. It looks like the stream just went live, so that's where you're hearing music. But SmiteShop.com, I think the latest shirt that we put together and uploaded was a neck. It says it's a like pixel art image of Fenrir, and it says Next God on it, and that's kind of the running joke in the community, as Fenrir is always Next God. But there's a whole bunch of different shirts over there, so please go check it out, and 50% of all these sales proceeds will go directly to Child's Play between now and March 25th, which is the launch of Smite, and then all of those proceeds will be donated to Child's Play. So that is the Smite Shop, and I'll let Risty take it away with some of the community news.
Well, what I missed to say actually in the last patch show was,
okay.
Did you see what they did to the Blue Ra?
I heard they kind of did an overhaul finally, like months and months and months.
We got a blue beam.
Yes.
We got blue, but the funny thing is, the hill beam, if you look up, is actually a UFO.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a blue like.
Oh, like it comes from a UFO.
Yeah. It's really quite cool, but yeah, we got the blue. We finally got the blue beams.
Okay.
It was good. I remember like in like a conquest, and all of a sudden I just saw this blue beam go across the screen. I went, Wow, they fixed it. Yeah. Well, that's funny. So no, that was just a bit I forgot to say about last week. That's been in for a week now. What we do have as well, we do have this one called "The Life of the Minions,"
Yep.
which
Yep.
was done by let's just say the Warp Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just pretty much just giving you an insight into what it's like to be a minion. Well, kind
Yes.
of. It's just a good kind of make fun video and stuff like that. So it's good to actually see. I don't think I can actually put it into chat, unfortunately.
No, I can go ahead
I
and
don't.
copy and paste it in there. It's a really cool video. I went through and watched it. It's kind of a comedy. A lot of time and effort put into that video though, and then even the costumes. Like the costumes aren't like hardcore cosplay type of costumes, but they're definitely
There's a lot of them.
yeah, there's
There's a
definitely
lot of
worthy
them. A lot of people.
costumes. Yeah, all these like costumes that people put together. So they're definitely pretty neat to see, and yeah, was a really good idea. Looking forward to seeing more content from those guides here, from those guys moving forward.
So what else we got as well? We got the standard Hi-Rez spoils. What
Mm-hmm.
he's coming out with, like Vulcan's ultimate was a bomb that we knew of.
Yep.
Apparently, Vulcan is the bomb. Vulcan
Oh,
ult
he
is the
like
bomb.
turns into a bomb. Okay.
I think so. I might be just reading that wrong. It just says Vulcan ult is the bomb, which I first read
Which it
that
could
as
be. Yeah, that
he is
could
the
be.
bomb.
He is the bomb, or like someone saying Vulcan's ult is the bomb. Like no pun intended per se.
Yeah,
Um,
possibly something like that.
that
Well,
could
you
be
know what he
right.
reads. He likes to play around with his words a bit, doesn't he?
Right. Right.
Uh,
Yeah. Exactly.
he's turned more into a mage now, so he's not going to be well. I'd say not going to be tanky, but we know what Hi-Rez are like with their mages. They seem to not want to
Did you
die.
see in the spoils? He says the bomb is the single highest damage ability in the game. So they're making Vulcan pretty badass now. With his
Ah,
ultimate at
really?
least.
So you mean they're taking it away from Malcolm?
Yeah, pretty much.
No,
have
that's bad. We're going to see
you
Vulcan
have
mid
you been
over
playing have you
Malcolm.
been playing him since the patch when he got his
I
ultimate
have not
award?
touched him. I
Oh
did not
really?
play him once.
I played him a few times and I feel kind of strong when I play him.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You know what, I never, I touched him just to play like practice jungle,
Sure,
just to see
sure.
what the abilities did, and then I
Yeah.
never did anything after that.
Hmm.
I kind of left it alone. Um, was this Chunga's getting a nerf? Apparently, taking away like the protections from her one. To be honest, her one didn't need to give protections. And it's still not the problem because hang on a minute, Chunga's normally like solo lane, yeah.
Correct.
Who is
Yep.
she going to give protections to in the solo lane?
Oh yeah. Well, when you're working independently, you're not really benefiting anyone
Yeah,
else. Yeah.
but she was still strong. It's more of well, I don't know where to go with that Chonga. I just kind of we'll see, we'll see.
Mhm.
What's the how do you pronounce the next word? Cack? No, or Chak or something like that. Is it?
Oh yeah, it's like
CHAAC.
Cha-Ak this week, which I guess is a new god. So as we talked about before, they're definitely pumping out new gods and new content. And it looks like, well, let's see,
Yeah.
let's look up this Cha-Ak. See
I
what we
have no
find
idea.
here. Cha-Ak is Cha-Ak. Let's see, is the name of the Maya rain deity with
Oh,
his
Maya.
lightning axe. That's right. He's gonna have this giant axe. Um, Cha'ak, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, might be butchering it, strikes the clouds and produces thunder and rain. Um, he
So it's
also-
Mayan version of Zeus.
It's a Mayan Aztec, pretty much type of version, you could
Yeah.
say. Let's see, I'm trying to read here. Huh, interesting. I mean, I think it's kind of cool to see a god with a big ass axe. I think that's kind of cool. We haven't really. I mean,
Well,
I
we
guess,
got one with a big ass sword. So
I guess
we
that's
need the big
tier.
ass axe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tier. So that's pretty cool, though. That's pretty cool and exciting.
That'll be good to see. And then lastly, I've got a post from Exalia, simply
Okay.
titled, I don't like teleport. Now, I fully kind of agree with him.
Bold
It's like a
statement.
wall of text. Well, to be honest, the way it's not teleport that's the problem. It's the active teleport to ward.
Oh, yeah.
It's more because you must have it in solo lane. You pretty much must have it in the mid lane now because and also it's just the fact that unless it goes down to it unless you can kill someone in a burst, you can't whittle someone down anymore. Like like you used to be able to do it, just keep them down low, keep them under the tower. They don't want to back because they're going to lose XP, but they stay down low. Well, now people just buy this first item. I do this all the time in mid or solo. My first 900 gold, go back, level 3, teleport to ward. bang, straight under the tower. And then every 60 seconds, just go back, refresh, back up. Don't
Yeah,
lose
yeah, yeah.
anything. So yeah, it's pretty much mandatory. And then it's really annoying actually in solo lane and the mid because you can't push the tower because they're back so quick. So
Now,
nothing actually happens.
excuse me, in league, how have things worked out for you with teleport?
It's pretty much the same. You have to have it mid and solo lane because
Okay.
you can't if you leave it alone. And with it as well, I do it with Loki quite a lot. I'll actually have teleport to ward and a teleport scroll on me, just so I can rotate duo lane to do like a four-man gank left, just to like get that extra person out there and actually use it Loki quite well,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
get back to the tower.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay. That makes sense.
but it is annoying as well because of how quickly characters can move around the map. Like literally, a, a couple, like one gank on the left, right of the duo lane could turn up in a five-man fight because if you've got the jungler that side, then mid and solo lane can just teleport into the wards,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden there's five men there. And if
Oh,
one
okay.
team's too slow to
Yeah.
react,
Oh, yeah. I
you
mean, I think it's a great strategy. I mean, I'd like to start to see teams starting to bait. I think like baiting would be really, really cool to see.
I'd like to see actually the teleport to ward active have a longer cooldown because it's 60 seconds at the minute. It's ridiculous. I'd like to see like a 240 cooldown.
Oh, for that. Okay.
Something really high. Yeah, you can use it. I don't mind. I don't mind it being in game because it adds some nice utilities and stuff. But the amount of times you can use it, how quickly you can, is probably the biggest problem. So it's kind of like that as well. Yeah, that's pretty much just all I can say on that. It just kind of sucks on the laners.
Oh, sure.
And
Sure.
yeah.
Take a look at esports update this week. It looks like the brackets weren't completely updated for us. But we did have in the grand finals for the North American scene, we did have Exertus versus Team Dignitas. We also have Cognitive Gaming NA versus Denial Esports. One sec here. Reason somebody from Twitch reached out to me about the problem that's been going on.
Okay. Yeah, what they're going to do is they're going to fix it right now so we lose the
That's
last 10
right.
minutes.
That's right.
Be funny. Be funny. So, meanwhile, the EU side, let me just
Sure.
bring it up, was between. I know the third and fourth place match, which was between Denial EU and Azure, or however you want to pronounce it. And then the first and second place match was, let me just bring it up. Reason Gaming and Mortality EU. Now, there was a funny one because I literally caught on to one of these. Mortality EU lost the second match to a disqualification because they paused during a team fight.
Oh yeah,
Now,
yeah, yeah. I saw that. Yep.
it's specifically in the rules that you're allowed to pause, but you're not allowed to pause during any team fights because what happened was as well, you could see it. Even Dry Bear was talking about it on the thing. He literally, as the pause come through, on her started his Desert Fury. But what happened with the pause is you lose the Desert Fury. It doesn't actually continue after the pause, but it's also on cooldown. So in the fight, when you're ahead, it's kind of you lose a lot. So they just kind of disqualified him for that, and that's pretty much it. Do not pause during team fights. Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of. All right, so apparently Gunrun, which I never enabled this. I'm working with Gunrun from Twitch on this. He's telling me that, and I think this is what happened. Where the hell is that? Sorry, hang on, let's see. Is that really what's going on? Oh my gosh. My stream has been set to have a 10-minute delay.
Really?
Let's see, I never set that.
You do not want them league snipers.
No,
do
and
you?
it's
Or the
literally
arena
well,
snipers.
listen, you can now set a stream delay on Twitch's side, not in the software, and that's what
Oh, really?
that's what it was. Hang on here. Hang on, let me update this real quick.
Hopefully it doesn't mess up.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I just had. Where did it go?
Let's see.
That's funny. So
Do me a favor. I know this is kind of weird. Log into Twitch and go to your dashboard for me.
Okay, hold on. Okay, go ahead. I've also got to add another thing to the community news as well. There's
Okay.
the Mythbusters is back up. I've just been watching a video from EMB4 Prez, PREZ. I'll put the link in chat if we actually get it available. It's just funny. I like watching the Mythbusters stuff, and I've just watched arachnids ulting each other and just completely switching places. Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
right,
really? Huh.
yeah, literally, they switch places. It's well fun. Okay, so I'm in here now. Where do I need
Okay,
to
now
go?
directly underneath of where it says what you're playing, it says stream delay, and there's a bar, and you can drag that bar back and forth. Is yours set to 0 minutes or is it set to 10 minutes?
Where's that? I'm in the dashboard. I don't see that.
Unless
I'm in
you know what,
live.
it might be for people that are just partnered. Directly,
Yes, I wouldn't get it otherwise. No.
yeah, directly underneath of where you put the title of your stream for dashboard.
No, I don't get that extra
You don't have
stuff
stream
because
delay.
you.
Okay.
I know what you're on about the bar. Yeah, I've seen it before.
Okay. Anyways, I just updated that. All right. Sorry for that delay. So that should be a little bit better. I don't know if I have to start and stop the stream, but we will go from there. Let's see here. All right, back talking about Smite. Now that that's fixed, that's awesome. So we were talking about the NA EU scene. You kind of did a quick little update there on the EU scene, kind of what was going on to there. And I guess we could really jump into the Or did you want to add anything else for the community news, or that was everything you had?
No, I just added that last one about
Sure.
Mythbusters. If anybody needs to, they can just search Smite Mythbusters, Smite Mythbusters on YouTube, and you should be able to find them. They're
Sure,
quite easy.
sure.
It's up to 10
Yeah, there was
episodes now.
also this other really cool thing that was in the community. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's a picture that somebody put together, and it's of Apollo pointing like his finger, which is
saw
the
that.
shape of a gun. Yeah, at Mercury's forehead, and on the other side of Mercury, on the other side of Apollo behind him, you see Mercury with his hand on Apollo, like this like silhouette view.
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw Apollo's gun with someone else's head. I thought it was like a Fenrir one. I didn't see the one with
Now, let
Mercury.
me find this. Let me find it.
That's really cool.
Because it's really cool, showing that like Mercury's not actually there. He's actually
that fast.
behind Apollo because he's that fast. Let me see if I can find it real quick because it was probably some of the best. Here it is. I'll put it in chat. This is probably some of the best art I've seen so far. So if you take a look,
Skype.
you see how I put it on Twitch.
Yeah.
In the Twitch
Couldn't
chat.
Skype because I wasn't actually on the Twitch channel at the
Oh
time.
sure, here it is right there.
Blue.
So you can.
Oh
see,
yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so and then look behind Apollo. Look, there's
Do
Mercury.
you know
with
what?
his
I never noticed Mercury behind him.
Isn't that cool though? Like
Yeah, because you can see the blur on Mercury. That's clever.
Is that cool? I think that's
Yeah.
really good. Like that's definitely some talent right there. So really cool to see that going on.
Especially Mercury just smiling there, and then he moves behind him and goes, hee. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Okay, so let's just move on then. So they read Carly. Carly's had a bit of a change. They've given her a leap. We know, and some interesting passive. Now the passive. I'm sorry, I said this to Pat. As soon as I saw it, I went. They took my idea. They didn't take my idea. They took my suggestion because
Sure,
I will.
sure.
I actually take full responsibility for Carly's passive because when
Are
we
you
had a
waiting?
round
Are you waiting
table-
for a check from Hi-Rez Studios then?
I'd have some gems. I don't mind gems
Yes.
because I like 400 gems. Give me a skin. I'll be quite happy with that. During like the round table discussion we had a while ago, we had Hi-Rez, Duke, and I think it was Gavin as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a discussion like which ability from other MOBAs would you add to the game, and I said track from Diablo 2. Not
okay.
Diablo. Oh yeah, no Dota 2. Sorry.
Okay.
Where you basically put a target on a selected god, and if you kill them or your team kills them, your whole team gets like a gold bonus, which they've
Okay.
kind of done that with Carly's one. The passive, if we'll go through it. Actually, we'll go through it now.
Sure.
Marked for death. A random god is selected. Basically, it's selected by Carly. It's anybody in the 5 out of the team, and it sucks if you get it on the tank first go. It's like. God. Carly gains physical protection, physical penetration bonus against that god, and if she lands a killing blow, she heals for 80% of her maximum health and gains a 25% gold bonus as well.
Hmm.
And new mark just so if you get first blood on that target, that's a lot of gold. That is a lot of gold at the start. I think it's I can't remember. Um,
Well, I guess my
the new
question is, and some people had asked about it, was should the passive be visible to other players?
I think it should be visible to your team because it because it changes so quickly sometimes because it changes a new a new death mark is selected anytime a current target dies or if Carly dies herself and it's set to the last person that hit her. Now
Sure,
what
sure.
I was getting in casual games was if my target died on like the left side of the map and we were ganking at the right, then all of a sudden my target was the one we were killing. It's like, please let me get last hit, but you can't tell them that. So I would like a little like arrow or maybe like a skull above their head or something like that, just for your allied teammates.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
the enemy, no,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
should know who it is because then that person is will just be wary and just stay back
Yeah. I
because
mean, it
then
would be
they
good. It would be good so that you know specifically. I can agree there. So you
yeah.
actually know what's going on, and so you know where the benefit is as a team. I think it'd be a good idea. It'd be a good idea for
What
targeting.
Yes, definitely. What it is as well, it's funny because the way people tunnel vision these sort of like benefits. Because if you play it properly, like proper jungle, fair enough. If you get onto your passive target, great, you get an extra bit of a bonus. But you should always be ganking the targets that look like they should be ganked. Like if mid overextends, you should gank them, or
Well, sure, sure.
basically gank everywhere. What's happening now? A lot of people are only ganking their target. Whoever their marked for death is,
Yeah,
that
they're not.
their
They're not.
focus.
Yeah, they're not focusing like in a team fight. You would normally focus on.
No,
Yeah, yeah, I
they're
can
going for
understand
that.
that.
So it's just kind of a little bit of a tunnel vision that people were actually seeing. So uh, other than that, no. It's also a problem in Joust, 1v1 Joust,
Okay.
because one kill, she snowballs out of control
Oh
because of
yeah,
the extra
because of that. Yep.
bonus. It's funny. It's funny. But no, it's been I like the new art design. The new art design looks pretty cool. I've got to give him that one. I've got to bring it back up now. Where is she? There she is. So no, she looks pretty good. The new swords and now a spear. By the
Yep.
looks of it, they just thought let's throw her in another weapon. She's got these hands, so we might as well use them. So it's good to actually see. Let me bring back the other ones. I've lost me now.
So, did you
There we
talk
go.
about Nimble Strike yet?
No, I've just did the passive.
Okay,
You
okay.
can do that if you want.
Yeah, I can jump in there. So, Nimble Strike, Callie leaps forward, damaging enemies in the target area for a certain amount of damage, plus 80% of her physical power, and healing herself for 20% of the missing health from the most damaged target. So, Callie now has a leap and jump ability, which is kind of goofy and weird because she definitely didn't have that prior to, and now we're definitely seeing that. And I don't know, what are your thoughts on Callie having that ability now?
I'm 50-50 on it, to be fair. I
Okay.
like the leap, um, but the problem that Carly faces now, they've taken away her movement speed. So when you're
Yes.
doing all of
Yes.
her other
Because
abilities,
she has
I'm
a
like,
leap. Yeah, she has
I
that
feel
leap
so
now.
slow. I feel slow all the time. Like you're
Yeah.
using her ultimate, and I'm like, ugh, come on. But now she has a leap, so it's like it's a trade-off. But sometimes you think maybe I'd prefer that movement speed, but yeah, there we go. It's interesting. It actually heals as well. If you can land it, it's quite nice. Obviously, getting 20% of the missing health back from the
Yeah.
most damaged target she hits. So that's quite handy. Just
Sure.
if you're like the last ditch attempt, you just kind of jump on their head. Works pretty well. But yeah, no, that's quite nice. Lash ability. I actually quite like the mechanic of this one. That you can actually move the center target. Like you move this the center point, and it throws out three blades and cross it over where you put the indicator.
Yeah, that's
So you
kind
can
of cool. It's a little different. The
yeah,
indicator is really cool because it like manipulates and everything depending on how you have it laid out.
yeah. It's really it's quite good. And if you can if you target it really well, like if you get really close to them, all three blades hit, or you can kind of you can still get them at the back end as well. So depending on how you do it and how skillful you are, you can hit a few targets as
Hmm.
well. But yeah, I like that. It's an interesting one. Carly throws at three blades converging on the target location. Each blade deals damage plus 20% of her physical power. A hit will apply a 3-second bleed. While the bleed is applied, bleeds don't stack. So if you hit them three times, it doesn't really matter.
Sure, sure.
With all three blades, I mean. Carly gets a basic attack lifesteal percentage. Is it percentage? No, it's just static by the looks of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna go and get him and double check that as I'm reading it because I swear it was a percentage and now it's not saying percentage. But yeah, you get a basic attack lifesteal against the target that's bleeding for the duration of the bleed. So you've got 3 seconds to get some life back, which is just nice. It basically brings that lifesteal back that she used to have because there's no other ability that kind of
That
does
gives her
it.
the
So
lifesteal now. Yeah, the lifesteal's
yeah.
nice, especially on Callie, because you're always that melee attack, and a lot of the auto attack is nice to be able to have a little bit of lifesteal off of it.
I missed the old lash because the old lash did a lot more damage.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you know, when you used to walk in, throw at them blades, and you're like, yeah, that hurt. Or you know when Carly's doing a lot of damage because that really hurts. So I kind of missed that one, but it's kind of, we got to balance the god a little bit. Just looking at it, yeah, it is percentage. So it's 5%, 10%. Well, it's 5% for each level you put into it. Okay. Third ability, incense. Now this is funny. You give Carly a leap and a stun, but I wouldn't say it's too much of a problem because it's only like a 1 second stun. It's you use this more. What Carly does, she throws incense down at her feet. That's what that little ball
Mm-hmm.
is that's kind of hanging around her.
Sure.
And it's a 1 second stun at all levels, so it doesn't really matter. Basically, you use that to get the target to stop, walk up to him, throw your lash out, so all three blades hit him. So it kind of works out for that. You also, while you do that, you gain a physical power bonus for the durations, like 3 seconds to 5 seconds from all the levels, like
Well,
10 power.
it's kind of funny too because it's incense now, and we talked about last week how like they took out the decapitated head that she was holding and gave her like incense to hold, and then they gave her like an ability to partner off of it. So it's kind of funny to see that like
Chinese
they
filters.
nonchalantly did that in order to make it for apply very nicely for the Chinese market.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny when they stick this one in. Now, for her ultimate, kind of has the same feel as her old ultimate, but with a few twists,
Okay.
which are kind of. I'm still 50-50 on this one as well. Okay. Carly basically does the spinning blade stuff again as she used to, but Carly becomes an unstoppable force of destruction, creating a damage aura around it that does damage. Doesn't actually do a lot of damage, does pitiful amount of damage actually. But what it does do is works as kind of like a movable aegis, kind of where she cannot die. She can go to 1 HP, but cannot be killed during the time of her ultimate. And her ultimate lasts. Let's just look at that. It lasts from 4 seconds at rank 1 to 5 seconds at rank 5. So to be honest, 4 to 5 seconds tops.
Yeah. Yep.
It's kind of an easy one to look there. The problem that she has though with this, and why I feel like the speed is a bit of a problem. She's immune to knock up, but while she's doing it, you can slow her, stun her. She's susceptible to
Sure,
pretty
she's
much.
CC. Yeah, she can be
Oh,
CC'd pretty much.
She's protected from slows and roots, but she can be stunnable. So pretty much if she
Okay.
fires that one off, you just stun the crap out of her,
Sure,
which
sure.
makes speeds mandatory. And the problem with it as well, because the old one, you used to pop it quite a lot when you was just out of range or chasing, just to actually do the extra damage. Anyway, just or do like an AoE damage to a lot of people. And the old one did so much damage really well.
Mm-hmm.
This one now does a tiny bit of aura damage, very little, almost like non-existent. But you also still have use of your abilities and basic attacks while you're doing it. So it's just a non-death aura. That's pretty much all it is. So I kind of feel it's good for not dying. You can jump under towers you can go under towers, get a few extra hits, knowing that you die normally, and then leap back out. But I feel a bit underwhelmed by our ultimate, to be honest. It's a nice idea.
I guess my question for you is, you got to see plenty of Callie before. What are your thoughts there with her previous ultimate and this ultimate? Which one do you like better?
I prefer our old one, to be honest. It's pretty much the same thing, except this one, the DPS comes from her auto attacks, and
Yes.
you can use your abilities to leap out of the way. But half the time, you're going to be stunned anyway if any team's actually any good. They're
Yeah.
going to see you coming and go, "Oh, Carla's going to overall stunner, bang." The old ultimate is your free beads. It broke you out of CC. You got out of everything. Fenrir
Yeah,
pick you
it
up.
was kind of you
throw
could
you
use it
up.
as an escape if you got pressured or focused, or you could
Yeah.
use it to focus on the opposite offensive direction.
Yeah, and also it did a lot more damage. I feel that the actual aura just doesn't do enough damage to warrant it. But then again, it's you can basic attack. The other one you couldn't attack, so it's just yeah. I prefer the old one. It's cool. I like all the aspects of it, and to be
Sure.
honest, with a bit more creative play, you can pull off some really quite cool stuff.
Yep.
But overall, I kind of feel it's lacking. There's a lot of people go like she's OP and quite a bit, but to be honest, she can be shut down quite easily with this kit because she doesn't have the old lifesteal that she has. So she's
Sure.
quite. Mm, she'll do. I think it's more play off the passive a bit as well. What has she got in the team fight really? Okay, that she doesn't. Well, I suppose she doesn't die. People are going to focus her and then auto
I
attacks
mean,
get in.
she might have a little more survivability, maybe. I don't know. I
I'd
haven't
say
played. I
less
played her.
damage.
Yeah, I played her a few, but not enough. You know.
I'd say she'd have less damage to be honest, because Lash doesn't really do that much damage. It's a very low damage skill,
Okay.
kind
Okay.
of per blade. It does like 70 at top, which Mercury's one made you look does like 50 or 70 on the level one,
Sure.
and
Sure.
that hits all targets in range, not just damage per blade.
Oh. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So and then her nimble strike. There we go. So we got Lash at top level
Hmm.
does 70 per blade. If you get three blades on there, that's 210. But then
Okay.
her leap is 70 at level one, and then
Oh. Okay.
270 later on, and also gets a better scaling. So her
Hmm.
lash doesn't actually do a lot of damage. Her leap does more damage, but then it throws out all your DPS and also your escape, and then your ultimate is so she's more of an auto attacker than anything else. But yeah, I honestly wouldn't pick her up. I would much rather pick up the other gods as jungle.
Yeah, you feel like there's better gods to take on
Yeah,
the
still feel this
roles.
back.
I've actually noticed like Sun Wukong actually being played a lot right now. Solo lane or other points. Even in
I
solo
saw
lane,
some.
building like a bruiser style. Seems to be doing pretty well actually. Who do you see a lot of in solo lane right now?
Samukong, Tia, Hebo, Chonga.
Okay.
They're the general kind of ones at the moment. I saw Vamana today as well. Vamana's just cool because, to be honest, for a jungler on the enemy team as well, if Vamana's on the enemy team, I just go to this. I just literally say to the solo laner, "Don't expect a gank," because there's no point ganking a Vamana unless the guy is always staying really low or really bad. You're not going to kill him anyway, so you might as well
Yeah.
just focus everywhere
Oh
else.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the mana does a lot of damage. But no, they're the general ones you see. Summer Kong's pretty much the Summer Kong and Tier are probably the most annoying because of the control they've got. I saw I've only seen it like twice. Summer Kong Jungle, and do you know what? Both times they've been surprisingly good. It's like really what the hell? Because they just come up throughout the jungle and in cat form, hit you, do loads of damage, and just go boom. Pretty good. I like it. I've been playing a lot of Arachne now. I got to the point where I didn't like picking up stuff because they were like overpowered, like Arachne completely over the top. Everyone's playing her because she's broken. I stood my ground a bit, would pick up Mercury or Four or stuff like that,
Sure. Sure.
and I went, do you know what? No, because it was suffering. It was either always against. I was always against Arachne, so I picked up Arachne. My God, how easy was that? I have got a 90% win rate with Arachne.
Wow. Good for you. And that's
It's
league. Is that strictly league?
Yeah,
Or?
that's league. Because it's the most ridiculous thing. What they've got, as I actually said in the notes, I think it was a res spoil. They're nerfing her spiders at the start, which is at the moment you can lay five traps,
Okay.
five egg hatches.
Dude,
Like
that's a lot. You got to think of that. That's a lot.
that's a lot. But what they're doing now is they're saying per level you only get one trap per level. So at first
Oh,
one you
okay.
get one trap that's set to level two. But the only time really that this affects Arachne is that first buff camp. Because it's the only time you put out more than one,
Okay.
like
Okay.
at level one. Because you put out four at the mini gold Furies, then you get them and the mid camp, and then you just go ganking because you're already level two.
Hmm.
The problem with Arachne is a poison. It's not the spiders. it's not. This could stop potential invades. Maybe put people off the invades a bit more. But
Sure,
to be
sure.
honest, the poison's still the most damaging thing. And you only ever used to use the spiders as the slow, so you could get more poison on.
Oh yeah, well it's its own little cripple, and it does that little bit of
Yeah,
damage. Yeah.
it's great. The funny thing is, though, is late game people think Arachne falls off pretty hard, but what you do is you build a kind of bruiser. Like I'd build
Sure,
boots,
sure.
void blades, frostbound hammer into Balk of Hope. Just kind of tanky up, but more
Well,
of a
Bulwark of
CC.
Hope is kind of that common item. I've seen people even go into Magi's Blessing. It's kind of that like extra just
Yeah,
protection item late game. Yeah. Especially if
and
you're going
stuff.
against a Zeus or anything like that on the enemy team.
Yeah, it's great because then as well you just become a control bot. Your pull is so much better than Sobek, and it's every 20 seconds. And if
Oh
you could
yeah,
land it,
it's a great instigate for a team
oh,
fight.
it's horrendous. Yeah, anybody you pull like late game, and even pulling people back to the fights, it's exceptional. I actually quite like Arachne now, and to be honest, I did a video like a while back that my
Hmm.
first few times I played Arachne was
Okay.
horrendous at it. With the buffs they give Arachne, I destroyed people. It was no problem hitting that ultimate, really. They increased the width to like 5 feet or something like that, so it was a lot easier to hit. And I
Okay.
think through the walls, alright, okay, I can kind of understand that buff now because it's annoying to land if you have to go into lane and
Sure.
sometimes, but yeah.
Sure.
It's one of the ones before, but it's still a really cheap trick.
Hmm,
But it's like,
okay.
okay, let's move on. Where are we at? I'm losing my buff pages.
That's okay. So you went ahead and we finished up talking about Cali. So we'll have to see what type of adjustments we start to see from Cali coming up in the next few weeks. Most of the time they release a new god or release a rework, and then from there we go ahead and see a lot of adjustments occurring. The several weeks after that. Some other things we had going on, which kind of fit with the holidays here. New skins. We saw Wreck the Halls Fenrir. Holiday exclusive, available for purchase only until January 8th. The Kali Demon Slayer skin has been revoked, has been taken out. We have the Golden Odin, so I'm so happy about the Golden Odin.
Has been reworked. Sorry.
Oh,
Not
reworked. I said
revoked.
revoked. Yes, it's been reworked to match the current change in her.
Yeah.
We also have, that's not the red tomato one, is it?
Yes, there
That's
is,
the
I
red
believe.
tomato one. Okay, I
I'll
couldn't
just double
remember.
check, but yeah, I think it is.
I think that's what it's called. And then
No, it's
Jingle.
not. It's just the recolor.
Oh, huh,
But
interesting.
the convention one has been changed as well.
That
So
one was changed too. Okay, that's
yeah.
cool. The Jingle Hell and Bacchus Father Christmas skin has been re-released and will be available for purchase. So they just altered that and made that because there were updates to Jingle Hell, or to Hell in general. So they needed to go ahead and redo that.
Well, it
Also,
pretty much as well adds to the thing with that is I don't think we'll ever have, apart from the convention skins,
yeah.
exclusive skins. They'll always just be seasonal ones that if you don't get it this year, you get it next year, sort of thing.
Okay.
So
Okay. I mean, yeah.
I don't think, yeah,
Yeah, not exclusive. You're saying like not exclusive per year per se.
yeah, pretty much. So like you'll be able to get it like at Christmas. If you miss it, you'll get it again. Not like the ones that, like the Twitters, like the Twitter one, the convention skins that if you miss it, you won't ever get it again. They're
Okay.
probably the only exclusive ones that I can think of. Because like
Yeah,
the Artemis,
those are hard to
skin,
come
you
by.
can't get.
The only one I don't have is the Artemis convention one.
We
And
need to do some brown nosing.
yeah, yeah. When I go down to Hi-Rez Studios in March, maybe I'll have to speak with the appropriate individuals to see if I can make that happen. Because that would be
Beg.
good. That'd be good.
Beg.
That's right.
I'm
You're
not
like, hey,
leaving. Chain
hey.
yourself to the door. I'm not leaving.
That's
till I
right.
get
I'm
my
not
money.
leaving. Chain myself. Like, why do you have a chain with you? You'll see.
I want a skin.
I do what I
Um,
must to get the skins in Smite.
They've changed something in Smite that everybody hates.
What's that?
The new play screen.
Oh
It's in
my
the new
gosh!
general bit. The play
I mean,
screen.
It takes a second to get used to. It's not so bad, but it definitely took me some time. My biggest
Hang on.
gripe with it is the party system. Where do I
Have
join
you
a
tried
party?
to make a custom game yet?
No, I have not. I haven't done a custom.
Oh my god. Right. Let me tell you how you have to make a custom game, right?
It was horrible
You
in
make-
the first place.
Oh no, it's even worse.
Okay.
It is horrendous, right? Okay. You have to make the game.
Okay.
Well, you do all the details for the game, submit it, then you need to go to join. I think it was join game. Let me just bring it
Sure,
back
sure.
up. What was I doing? Yeah, custom game. Then join game to do it, and then you had to submit that that was the one you wanted to join, and then you had to again join that match at the bottom.
Yeah, but
It was like
that's how it was before. Before you had to,
ah
yeah, before what you had to do was you had to go in, create the match with the username or the name match and the password. Okay, you submitted that. So let's say we made it Octane Pro and the password was Risty. Then we went ahead and after that, I would then hit join again, type in Octane Pro and Risty, and it would join me. So you have the ability to create games
oh
and
no.
never join them.
Do you
Or
see that bit where you said okay and join me?
yeah,
It would do that, but then you would have to go back to the Joust challenge or wherever bit you
okay.
did, and then hit another button to go in. It wouldn't
Oh,
automatically take you
jeez.
in. It
Huh.
was it was horrendous. It took us a little while to work it out, and I went never again.
Oh, I
Uh,
know. Yeah, the custom system could use a huge rework.
yeah,
Completely.
they need to go back to the old system. I actually, the, I know I've said they've done some bad patches, but this is horrendous.
Yeah.
Okay, we got another one as well. The fact that all right, match of the day, Clash of the Titans. I know the title. What does it actually mean? There
Mm.
is no description. It doesn't tell
Oh,
you
okay.
what's actually happening.
Okay.
Like
So they need to fix that. Okay.
they need to fix that. They need to. You can't scroll through when you queue up. You can't scroll through the other things. You're completely locked out of the actual play menu. You can't look at the other timers. It's
Hmm.
just like
Yeah, I mean, they overhauled the system and it makes it a little bit less.
it looks claustrophobic.
It's a little less intimidating though because if you look at it, like in the old system, it was like, oh my gosh, what do I pick? Like there's all these different tabs, there's all these different options. Whereas the new system, you have it like kind of breaks it down a little bit easier and kind of shows it to you a little bit better. So I think the flow of the user choice is a little bit better. But I think for us players, where we knew exactly where everything was, we're like, oh, we don't like it, type of deal. But I think it'll catch on. I feel like if you were to,
Hey, they
I feel like
moved as well. They
I
moved it. The
move what?
friends list. They moved it.
Oh well,
They
yes,
moved
the
it to the
friend.
right.
Yeah, they enabled. Oh, you mean off to the side, like that one person
Yeah, I just noticed.
recommended on Twitter. Yeah, they kind of. Yeah, I noticed that. That was pretty cool. Trying to see what else we have here.
Take feedback.
That's all right. We'll jump on here. Spectator. They fixed a crash condition on return to lobby. I understand that. I've seen that a lot. They also are adding in some additional views. They're adding in like a fourth additional view that Hi-Rez had spoiled. I think it was yesterday on the 14th. So we're gonna start to see some
Do you
additional
know what they
views.
need to fix?
Yeah.
Leave spectator mode while in match lobby.
Yeah, because if not, yeah, you literally have to type in a command that says /disconnect, and then when you do that, your game's all messed up. You have to exit the game and come back in.
Yeah, so
Um,
literally you got to relog every time that
Yep.
you got to do that. I haven't watched the match in ages like that, but yeah, it was the
Okay.
most annoying thing ever.
A few item changes we had going on. Polynomicon increased the cooldown for how often the bonus damage on hit proc can occur from 2 to 4. I completely agree with this. The Polynomicon was just absurd. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
DPS
mean,
that comes out of it.
yeah. If you saw like a Zeus get a Polynomicon, you better run, because literally Zeus will melt anyone with that. So I can see that completely justified. Hydra's Lament increased the cooldown for how often the bonus damage on hit proc. Same thing, being kind of mirroring Polynomicon from 2 to 4 seconds. This change is a result of the Polynomicon change, so it makes sense. Do you want to go ahead and start us off for a few of the god changes? And did you clear these out for the ones that weren't too crazy or no?
No, but I'd like
Okay.
skim over the crap
Okay.
ones that I
Sure.
get there.
That's
So-
fine. Go ahead.
I'm quite good at filtering out crap sometimes. The Amazon Cab, they actually come back and change back this passive again. So it's gone up from the bees has gone up from 5 per tick to 8 per tick. So that's actually brought them a bit back. I'd like them to let it spread from minions to gods again, because that's an interesting mechanic. Because if you geared up Amazon Cab with Sobek, people then couldn't use the minions as shields. So that would be a nice thing if they actually put that back. I'd have no problem with that. It would just mean you don't stand in minions. The hives as well been up from 4 to 6, so they've got that. They've nerfed Alquan slightly, but made it easier to use his abilities. I know, right?
Was there like a skill issue that people felt for Ao Kuang in regards to like
No,
thought he was
not
difficult to
really.
play? Like I didn't think he was difficult to play.
He's he's annoying now, but then the tornadoes. They're okay. With Squall, apparently the time before the projectile fires has been reduced from get this, zero point 0.5 seconds to zero point 0.4. Am I really going to notice that point 0.1?
Oh
No,
yeah.
not really.
Hey, the competitive players are gonna notice. Come on now.
Oh yeah. Come on, check out that ping. We're going to notice that. Not really.
Yep.
No, not a
Yep.
chance. The time after the projectile fires before another ability can be used has been reduced from half a second to zero point 0.1 second. So that's a slight change. So you can hit the slow, drop the tornado just that fraction a bit faster. That you might be able to see because that's like half a second, and you can tell like half a second in game sometimes when you're waiting for stuff to go. Sliver now, the time from after activation before another ability can be used has been reduced from a quarter of a second to zero point 0.1 seconds. So they're just letting you throw out his abilities a lot faster. Why do you just not have no cooldown at all? Just throw them out. I reckon the point 0.1 is for a slight animation. That's about it. That's the only thing I can think of. The tornadoes have had a slight nerf. The time after the tornado appears before you can fire another ability has been reduced from zero point 0.5 seconds to 0 seconds.
Yeah,
So
I
you
saw
can
that.
drop a tornado and hit one out straight away.
Yeah.
Tornado squall done. There you
Yeah,
go.
pretty much. I mean, I think the tornado. I mean, I know the ultimate is definitely Ao Kuang's, you know, one of his better abilities, but I feel like his tornado is just invaluable. Like, it's so good in team fights, in lane control. If you get in a pinch, it's just so good because like literally you cannot take a few ticks at all. You know what I
Can't
mean?
walk into it.
Like if
That's
you
it.
get
Once you get that done.
if you get more than 2 ticks, you might as well believe you're dead. In all honesty, because it's so strong. I mean, I get one tick on me and I'm freaking out.
Well, it's a problem because it's the only dot ability in game that once you walk. Well, I suppose the Agni Fire passive does this as well. But once you walk in, you get the full duration, and
Yes.
the longer you're in it, the longer it's refreshed for the full duration. Now they have reduced the lifetime of the tornado from 5 seconds to 4 seconds,
Yeah.
and I think that's
But I feel like with the
2
tornado, I mean,
dots.
5 seconds before. See, the issue with the tornado for me is not necessarily like how long it is, because what happens is when the tornado most of the time is casted, it's casted and you're stuck in the middle. So it takes you like 2 hits or 2 ticks to get out. If you're not paying attention and you're trying to focus someone 3, and then you're pretty much dead. Which is just really surprising to me because I feel like that's so strong. Like I'm trying to think who else to compare it to. Look at like if you're standing in Agni's fire, like you just take a step to the left and you're good to go. You know, so 1 tick maybe. I just feel like it's a very strong ability, and I think that's where the focus of how strong is where it comes from.
But yeah, I don't mind Alquar as such because I'd say he's still balanced because
Yeah.
he's got nothing to get away from. That is it. Literally, you drop the tornado, stand in it. When it runs out, just think you've lost a second of being able of safety now. When you're stuck in it, you're not getting away. But then again, his squall does get him away quite a few times. But yeah, it's I don't mind Alquar's like DPS too much. I still think he's balanced, so he's alright. Okay.
Yeah. What else we got here? Bakasura, base attack speed gained per level reduced, which I can understand that because his attack speed
was
is
a good nerf.
absurd. It is a good nerf, but it's only like 0.4 seconds, and it's kind of funny. Like
It's a percentage. It's not even 0.4 seconds, so it racks up. So they actually take a couple of percent off him. So
Yeah.
it's not too bad.
Yeah.
I don't mind it too much. So, yeah.
We also have Chunga Crescent Moon Dance. Now grants physical or magical protection in addition to physical. Like, they're trying to make Chunga more of a support, which is fine with me. They've reduced the healing on Moonflower Dance, and the projectile width has been reduced as well on the Waxing Moon, so that's good. But to me, they need to reduce the damage abilities as well. You know.
Well, they need to figure out where they want to put Chunga because they keep putting up her healing, then doing her damage, then her healing, then her damage, and they don't quite know where they want to go. So pick where you want to go. Stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I mean, I'd rather see her like really good at healing and gives out magical and physical protection, compared to where she's at now, where she does like a little bit of healing, a little bit of damage, and is still really good. You know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely that.
Moving on from there, Fenrir, Brutalize fixed an issue where the ability would deduct mana cost and cooldown, but not properly attack Vulcan's turret, so that was adjusted. Mercury, Maximum Velocity. Mercury is no longer immune to slow while this ability is active. Attack speed bonus reduced from 30 at the low to 20 at the low, and 70 at the high, down to 60 for 60%. So
Yeah,
some adjustments there to Mercury.
he needed that actually. To be honest, I kind of missed that one, but yeah, he needed that. It's just his attack speed was just far too high. It kind of, if you look at it as well, Naja, who used to be the really fast auto attacker that used to just shred people, only gets a 50 or 55%, and that's without the movement speed. But then again, you trade off the movement speed to 15% crit with Naja. So that's why I was kind of comparing the two the other day, thinking, can I bring Naja back, please? But yeah, so they needed to reduce that down a little bit more. Yeah, Naja 55%, so at the top end. Was looking at it a bit more though, that Naja's hit progression is quite slow compared to Mercury's one. Mercury's one is, let's just have a look at it. Where is it? It's a 1.75 and 1.25. Where on the other hand, Naja is 1.1, 1.5, and 2. So it actually takes a long time to get through Naja's hit progression than it actually does with Mercury. And the funny thing is, Mercury's 1 seems to do a lot more damage than 2 and 3. Which it always feels a bit weird. The third one should do the most damage, but the first hit always seems to hit harder. Kind of weird. So yeah, it's been a good change. I don't mind that too much. Let's just have a look at Noir. Noir, General adjusted her proportions slightly on the different character cards. Slight bug.
She's so good.
Do you still think she's good?
I have middle laned with her against her. As Agni.
Has the new speed buff.
All she has to do is just level her third ability, Flame Strike, first, and she melts you. If she hits that Flame Strike on you and you're stunned, and she gets like 1 or 2 hits on you, you're like almost dead. And then she just pops the ultimate as you're trying to run away. And I've had so many issues with Agni, so I decided after my first time that I tried her and it was a disaster, I decided after her adjustments to try her out mid lane. She rocks mid lane. She is so good in mid lane. It's unbelievable.
I'll have to give her another try.
Yeah,
because here it says...
Give her a try in mid lane and level your third ability first and barely touch your clay soldiers. And
yeah, well, that's the one I always did anyway. I never bothered with the clay soldiers. But what they had done is they changed the base attack speed gain per level from 0.95%, so almost a percent, to 0.17. So it was nearly, it was like 2/3 more, nearly shy off a double in it. So it was, so the extra attack speed's actually helping out probably a lot from what you're saying. Sure, be a good one to actually see. Fog, an issue where fog wasn't applied. Wouldn't apply on hit effects like Gem of Isolation and Lifesteal. Could you imagine that? Gem of Isolation with the fog, so just running next to someone will slow them down. That'll be annoying. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. That's a moving slow that you can't get away from. That'd be pretty good. I could have seen this getting nerfed. Okay, limited the number of hits per second for the ultimate. Sorry, shake and bake fan. So the people that used to just run people in and out and insta kill them, you can't do that anymore. The fastest rate the new damage can occur is consecutive rapid touches, now half a second each, so 0.5 seconds each. So which still isn't that bad. Still just knocking them back and through. You just have to wait a little bit longer to kill them. It still has the same effect. You're still going to kill them just as quick, pretty much. Just yeah. Sun Wukong as well had a slight change. Mana costs, slight nerf actually. The mana costs of magic. I'm going to say the big stick is 1. That's all I'm going with. I think this is 1. Is it his 1? Let me just double check. I actually have to have a look. Where's he gone? There he is. It is his 1. Yeah, I was right. It's his 1. The magic cost now scales. Instead of a flat 50 mana cost all ranks, it now goes from 50 to 90. So yeah, it just costs a bit more later on. And Master's Will, which is the 2, reduced the knock-up strength slightly from 1.25 seconds to only 75 seconds for the knock-up. So, yeah, they just a slight nerf on there, which isn't bad. It's shown that I haven't seen him I've seen him less in the solo lane. He's not guaranteed. He literally was in like over half the matches that I've seen. Now he's a lot less, especially with like the ultimate cooldown increase. Now this, so he's getting hit pretty hard with the nerf bat. So I feel sorry for the old guy. And now we're gonna have to move.
I'm updating this. I just found out. Hang on, let's see here. Hang on one sec. Hang on. This is kind of interesting. Kind of decent sized news.
What we got? What we got? I'm impatient. Come on. Come on.
Oh, hang on. Cancel.
Taking too long.
I'm trying to post it on Reddit at the same time. Hang on. Well, let's finish up. You did some with Kong. Okay. So apparently Exertus has just disbanded.
Okay.
Like Exertus Esports has broken off from the players have broken off from Exertus Esports. And this is interesting because just a few weeks ago, Reason Gaming did the exact same thing. And I don't see these. I mean, this is an interesting discussion to bring up. What I've heard with Reason Gaming, and you know, I don't speak for them, nor do I have a ton of insight, but from what I just the rumors was that they're trying to look for a larger sponsor, like another type of Team Dignitas out there. And I wonder if that's the case with Exertus, if they feel that they can do better in regards to a sponsorship. Because if you think about it, there hasn't been any big teams that have come into the scene since Team Dignitas.
No, I suppose.
I mean, Team Dignitas is the most well-known, largest esports organization in Smite right now. There hasn't been a Team Liquid or an EG or... I mean, SK Gaming was before that, but SK. Look at SK Gaming. SK Gaming as well. Key example, disbanded from them as well. So it's interesting. Like all of a sudden,
I'd say SK Gaming's more they got the sack.
I don't.
It's probably the only ones that I think that about. The rest of them, I'm not too sure.
You know what? I'm gonna bring that up as a topic tonight on Smite Talk. That's gonna go over so well on Smite Game.
Oh, what? SK Gaming getting the sack? Potentially.
Oh no! Players leaving team support, and that was what SK, Reason Gaming, and Exertus. Yeah, it's just all of a sudden over the last few weeks, just all three of those teams just. Was that it? SK Gaming, Reason Gaming, Exertus. I feel like there was somebody else in there.
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure.
Was that it? Yeah, it seems like it. But anyways, yeah, I just saw that on Twitter. Like I have my Twitter feed up off to the side just in case like something comes up, and boop, there it was, and I was like, oh snap! I was like, where did that come from? So kind of interesting.
I clearly don't have the right friends.
That's right. Clearly, you do not have the right friends, sir. As I end up getting the news like 30 seconds later.
Yeah.
Let's see. So outside of that, let's go ahead and jump into our god review, and this is something we do every episode, where we just go ahead and take three gods right now, three gods in the game, and just talk about where they are in the game. Do we feel they're balanced? Where do we see them do well? Where do we see them struggle? Stuff like that. So our three gods this week are Hebo, Hel, and Hercules, and we're kind of going down the god list on Smite Game. They're not really sorted randomly or anything like that. And we do go ahead and have Hebo, Hel, and Hercules. So what's your opinion on Hebo first, Risty?
Hebo, I say balanced, but he hits so hard. The guy is. I'm completely happy with the balance. They've done a really good job of him.
Sure.
Stopping crushing wave going over walls and through stuff like that. It's a good way to shut him down, because if you can lock him in like a wall with like maybe a tectonic rift or your mirror wall or even catch him and and stuff, you can shut him down. But if you let him run free, the guy will destroy you. So it's definitely good, that one. I remember that nerf coming in yonks ago when he used to just go through the Odin wall. It used to be like, right, we locked in Hebo.
Sure.
See you later. So yeah, I like where Hebo is, and sometimes the player skill as well to keep up the magical buff, the passive as well. So sometimes a lot of people kind of miss that one out, but. Yeah, I like where Hebo is. I'm not sure what you.
Yeah, I think Hebo is definitely not a character or a god that I would recommend for new players. I do feel like there is a different skill curve for him. I mean, there's a small handful of gods in the game which do take an additional level of skill within Smite, which aren't just like a jump in, good to go. Like I feel Ra is definitely like more prone for new players. Same thing with Ymir, stuff like that. But Hebo, I feel, is very balanced right now. The changes that they made to him quite a while back, I think, were appropriate, and I think he's good. He's strong, but he does take a different type of skill level compared to just a new player jumping in and playing him so easily. Because I feel as a new player, it's very easy to overcommit with him because of how much damage he does. But you have to remember, he is the prime example of a glass cannon. Without a doubt. Moving on to Hell. What are your thoughts on Hell? We did see Hell get a rework a little while ago.
Well, before Hell, I just noticed your top. When did you go golfing?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it looks like a proper golfer's jumper. That's just, I don't know. I literally just looked at the stream and went, okay. So Hell, we don't see Hell that much. I think I like her skills the way they are. She's really annoying with the amount of damage that she can put out. There's a lot of times that, as like an AD or a jungler, I'll just go at Hell and go, yeah, I'm not even going to bother trying that because she'll just rip me apart. Maybe, I think she's fallen off a little bit. Maybe what they could do is remove the delay on her stance attunement. You know, the one where you change the stance and then the little bar goes across, more for her passive. Yeah. If they remove the delay, probably maybe a little bit better. I think that's about it. I wouldn't do too much more on Hell. I think you just kind of have to leave her with it. It's just the way the meta fits at the minute because, yeah, she's a good solo lane. She can outpush pretty much everybody, but she just doesn't fit in the meta so much. So that's pretty much why she's not getting picked up. But she's a perfectly good god, balanced, maybe a little on the strong end, if anything, just because of how much she can do. And if you're a good Hell player, or you get to see a good Hell player, you can't kill them. I have been up against a couple of players that play Hell really good, and
survivability is insane.
Yeah, you know, if she gets like an even or a half decent start, not bad. Especially when they changed her as well and did the remax. You can destroy a Hell 0-5 at the start of a game. By the 30-minute mark, or even like 25-minute mark, 25-minute mark, she is like you fed her. That's pretty much it. She puts out so much damage. She keeps everybody else alive. She doesn't die, and puts out a lot of damage. So yeah, it's quite funny with that. So yeah, I'd say she's a little on the strong side, but other than that, I wouldn't change her at the minute.
I mean, I've seen Hell go like a 1-on-4 combination and just squeak out of there, no problem. Some of her abilities, Hell is definitely another god that I feel has that skill cap, where you as a player is not very easy for a new player to pick up, but in the hands of an experienced player, oh my gosh, like it's so difficult to kill her unless you have enough CC available to lock her down, because if you don't have the CC, she could just get away so easily. Really happy where Hell's at now after the reworks. Finally, we have Hercules. Hercules, to me right now, I think he excels the best in Assault, as like a straight up tank. Some people will build him more bruiser, but very good in Assault. But outside of that, things are going. I think Hercules is in a good place. I don't see him played as much though in Conquest competitive side.
No,
now, granted, last week he was played though.
Yeah, the thing is though, when you look at Herc, you then look at Tyr and go, Tyr's a bit better.
Yeah.
In some respects. I actually, though, had the other day a guy that went full tank Hercules. Like, literally, everything was tanky.
And how did that work out for him?
My God, the guy was unkillable.
Oh, really?
I have never seen anything like it. This guy, actually, I'd played with him in the previous 3 matches running up. He was in every single game. And the guy was terrible. He would either disconnect, leave the game, overextend all the time. But this time he picked up this Hercules, overextended all the time. There's like everybody else back in base in the 30-minute mark of the game, thinking, right, okay. And he's up by their Phoenix alone versus 4 of them. And I'll tell you what, we managed to get all the way to the middle of the map and him get back to us, and he still had half health versus 4. And I'm sitting there going, how the hell is that guy still
No one
alive?
else is
So
squeaking away from that like that. Yeah.
no, but he even did a load of damage to him though.
Oh
It's
my
like
goodness.
what?
Yeah.
No, Tyr couldn't survive that. I don't know a tank that could survive that because obviously mitigate wounds heals up like percentage. Is it percentage of damage done now still? Or have they changed that?
I don't know if that's still the
Um,
case, to be honest with you. You'd have to check
percentage
to.
of the damage taken during this time. So against four people, he's
Okay.
gonna be healing quite a bit back, especially when it's a top level 120% of the damage taken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why it was quite bad. But excavate wounds, not excavate, excavate the ultimate still does a lot of damage even when you build full tank.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I,
Without a doubt.
yeah, so he's definitely an interesting one. He does do a lot of damage, and yeah, building full tank, funny. But when it comes to conquest, Tyr more control, got the control, the heal. Um, yeah, it's more the time I don't really. Do you know what? I don't actually know why because Tyr's Fearless is pretty good. It also priority wise beats Drive and Strike as well. So if you Drive and Strike into a Tyr's Fearless, Tyr's
Hmm.
Fearless would actually beat that and stop Hercules. I think
Okay.
that's another thing. Um, and the heal probably. Yeah, I'm not 100% on why people don't pick up Hercules, but Hercules just doesn't. You don't see him that much.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
he's definitely.
I just don't see Hercules isn't super good though in solo lane, and by himself I guess for survivability because he is melee, and he does not, even though like you let's say you were comparing him to like a Guan Yu. Guan Yu has a heal. Guan Yu also has a yeah, I guess it's the heal, so a little more survivability. And you're not going to put Hercules in like if you put Hercules in a dual lane, I guess it's not too bad, but you need to have a really good CC with him. I mean, I guess if I was to think of it, maybe a Hercules and a Chunga wouldn't be a bad dual lane. You have the heals of Chunga, but also the damage and CC
Yeah,
available
I
as well.
think possibly what's fallen back on Hercules is he has to take damage to heal, really. So you've
Hmm.
got to be getting hit to heal back more, and you have to get your mitigate wounds up. Where on the other hand, Tyr can just push the wave, use his ability to clear the wave, and he heals anyway from his power cleave,
Yeah, yeah,
which he heals quite a lot if you level that up quite quickly.
that's true. That's
So
true.
yeah, that's. I think that's possibly why he's not getting picked up. Obviously, I don't speak to many of the pro gamers, so
Sure,
I wouldn't
competitive
actually know
side.
for sure. But
Sure.
that's possibly what I see. But other than that, it's funny though because if you kind of look at it, a lot of gods, they're picked up for just like the slightest little reason. It could be that they're still fine, but just one tiny minute reason is why they're not getting picked up compared to somebody else.
Sure. Sure.
So like I'd say, I looked at this yesterday. Mercury versus Naja.
Hmm.
Skills are the same. Like the three, okay. Mercury's it's got a bit of a dash, can move forward, control someone, and throw them back. Where Naja kind of got to grab them, and they get pulled to them. Now they're
Hmm.
both kind of the same, except you could use it for getting away with Mercury, which makes it a bit more survivability. And Mercury's one's easier to land because it's a wider skill shot, as well as the one as well. Major Look is a big, easier one to hit. When Naja Universal Ring will do more damage if there's two targets, but it's a lot harder to hit. So, and it's better with the ultimate. So Naja stuff's a lot harder to hit compared to Mercury's, and then now with the attack speed stuff, maybe Naja's attack speed's there, but it's very slight things like that that is why people aren't picking up these gods.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree. Completely agree. I mean, especially with Hercules there. Well, good deal. Well, that's pretty much for, an episode for today. Episode 34 of the Smite Update podcast show. As always, the Smite Update is a production of OctaneProGaming.com. Please visit OctaneProGaming.com for more content along with Community Smite Podcast. I do another one every week called the Smite Talk Radio, which is over there as well if you guys want to check out more of that. On top of that, we record every Sunday, if you're catching out the VOD here, at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OctanePro, SCII. That's Octane Pro, and then SCII. That's, so
10
check
o'clock
that out.
GMT.
Yeah, right. EST there. And On Twitter, you can check me out, Octane Pro, SCII. And what about you, Risty? Where can people check you out?
You can find me at youtube.com/RistyUK, Twitter at RistyUK, and I'm streaming again a little bit more on Twitch at RistyUK. I hadn't been doing a lot of, like, to be honest, I haven't put up a video in like 2 months, I think, on YouTube.
What's wrong with you?
It's horrendous.
Okay.
But
I'm not as good right now on the gameplay side on my gameplay YouTube channel, but of course I've been keeping up to date with the podcast on my podcast channel, so I at least have that part kept up to date.
Yeah. But good news, with all the work that I've been doing recently, I've been doing like 2 jobs and stuff. That's why I haven't been able to put anything out. It all stops this Friday for packing up for Christmas, and I've got no work for the foreseeable future. So then I can start hammering out content. So I'll be here like streaming maybe 6 hours a day, then knocking out guides every 2 days and stuff like that. So I can really hammer it home for that one. So it's a big overkill as well.
Do work. That is awesome. Well, hopefully we'll see some more content directly out of you coming up here in the next few weeks. Big thanks to our sponsors, tweakedaudio.com. Make sure you use the promo code OctanePro on their website to get 33% off plus free shipping. We will see you guys next week for another episode of the Smite Update podcast. Once again, that'll be at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OctanePro, SCII. Thank you guys very much for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Take care, folks.